It was lovely summer weather in the country, and the corn stood yellow, and the oats were green, and the hay was stacked up in the green meadows, and the stork walked about on his long red legs and chattered softly. Round about the fields and meadows there were great forests, and in the midst of these forests lay deep lakes. It was, indeed, very peaceful to be in the country. In a sunny spot stood a pleasant old farmhouse, and near it grew great burdock leaves, so large that a small child could stand beneath them. There sat a duck on her nest, waiting for her eggs to hatch. At last, one shell cracked. Peep, peep, said the little duckling, and out he came. Then another, and another, until almost all the eggs had opened. But one egg was still unbroken, and it was very large. At last it cracked, and out came a duckling, bigger than the others, and not nearly so pretty. The mother duck looked at him with a quiet curiosity. He is very large, she thought, and rather different. The next day she took all her ducklings down to the water. One by one they slipped in and began to swim. Even the large gray duckling swam along easily. "Well," said the mother duck, "he is not a turkey after all." And so they lived together. But the little duckling was not like the others. The other ducks pecked at him and pushed him aside. "He is too big," they said, "and far too ugly." Even the hens laughed at him. And so the poor little duckling ran away. He wandered through fields and over hills until at last he came to a quiet marsh. There he stayed alone. The autumn came, and the leaves turned cold and fell softly. The wind grew colder, and the duckling felt the chill. One evening, a flock of beautiful birds flew overhead. They were white, with long, graceful necks, and they called to each other as they flew. The duckling watched them with a strange feeling. He did not know what they were, but he felt a quiet longing. Then winter came, very cold and very still. The water grew so weak that he could not move. But a kind man found him and took him home. For a while, he was warm and safe, but soon he wandered away again. When spring returned and the sun grew warm, the duckling found himself near a quiet lake. There he saw them again, the beautiful white birds. He felt a calm courage and slipped into the water. I will go to them, he thought, even if they drive me away. But as he approached, the water reflected his image. He looked down, and for the first time, he saw himself clearly. He was no longer gray and awkward. He was a swan. The others welcomed him, and the water, which once felt cold, now felt calm and kind. And so, the one who had been alone and unwanted found his place in the wide, quiet world, and everything became still and gentle once more.